So I disappeared for about 4 months without any warning, and this is me explaining what exactly happened. For those of you who don't know about this channel, we have a podcast called the We Are Not Lonely podcast. My friend and I started it back in Jan, and we've been putting out an episode basically every single week until June, which is when the first break happened. We put out a couple of episodes again in August and then disappeared again. This video is basically to explain what happened. So, in order of the things that had happened chronologically, I first attempted to move to Bangalore and I failed. There was a little fallout about that whole attempt to move to Bangalore thing, which I had to manage. After that, I moved to Hyderabad for about 3 months, and then I got back to Mysore. I attended a wedding in Manipur, and then I got back to Mysore again. So all of this happened over a period of nearly 5 to 6 months, and it just ended recently. Technically, while I was writing the script, it was still going on. I was in a flight from Kolkata to Bengaluru while I wrote the initial bit of the script. Now, before I answer the obvious question of what I was doing in the time that I was away, let me just explain why I had to do all of this. For that, I'm gonna have to take you back in time to June. One of my closest friends had just gotten married, and on this particular morning, I woke up by myself. Now, usually when I wake up, I have this really bad habit of reading a little bit of manhwa and manga. Now, I know it's not the best thing to do, but I have this part of me, Hamza would call it the Jeffrey part of me, that says, oh, I'm gonna become a manga artist, I'm gonna create like manga and manhwas. So it's cool, it's fine, but I know deep down that it's like a luxury that I indulge in, it's an indulgence, and I'm going to cut down. I've started cutting down already. It's just that it became a really bad habit of mine while I was in Hyderabad. Anyway, on this particular morning, I did not have internet. My phone did not have charge. So I ended up doing a little bit of introspection. My mind ended up going over the past couple of days and just looking over what had happened. So one of my closest friends, this dude was someone I had known since we were both in the 4th grade. We were both like 9 years old. We grew up together, we went to the same school, we went to the same college, and in the space of a couple of years, he had found the love of his life and gotten married. Now, obviously, the next thing I did was take a stock of my current situation, and I started wondering, what exactly have I been doing over the past couple of years? Well, in that particular moment, it just went over the past couple of days, and I had spent most of them playing Genshin Impact and Valorant with his younger cousins, so this moment of shame and self-doubt in me just hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Right, so when I got back to Mysore, I knew that something had to change. Now, this was around the same time that a friend of mine called, mentioning that he had a place and that I could stay there. And he also mentioned that the place was up for rent. At the same time, another friend called and mentioned that they had a Graha Pravesha and I was invited to that. A Graha Pravesha is basically a housewarming. So the Nimitta was amazing. The omens were crazy. It seemed like the universe was aligning. And so off I was to Bengaluru. I won't lie, Bengaluru was amazing. The vibes were insane, and I had a crazy time there. There were ups and downs, I won't lie, and obviously there was fallout from that decision to move there, but while I was there, I had an amazing time. I ended up spending a lot of time in the city. I spent about 3 weeks in the city itself, in the place that I had mentioned, and then I went to a yoga ashrama somewhere in Hosur. But the most important thing was I got to meet a lot of people. Now, this was important because I had spent the past couple of years just completely isolated from the modern society, just doing my own thing. So, that last bit was particularly helpful for me getting back to society. Now, all good things had to come to an end, so I found myself heading back to Mysuru, kind of unwillingly, but I knew it was necessary. While I was there, that urge in me just kept getting stronger, and I knew that I had to do something, I had to move out again, and I got another opportunity, and this time I was off to Hyderabad. I won't lie, dude, Hyderabad's an amazing place, it's got some crazy vibes. I spent like 3 months there, and I'm gonna have to confess that the reason I went there was to explore the fitness industry. Dude, wanna try fitting these nuts in your mouth? So, I'm a martial artist, and I went there primarily to teach people how to do martial arts, and at the same time, like I said, I was exploring the fitness industry. I liked Hyderabad so much, the vibes were so crazy that I decided that eventually I'm gonna have my own place there. I'm gonna set up a small base in the future in Hyderabad. Now, getting back to what I was doing there, I was essentially training people in martial arts, and we had a vast variety of clients, most of them from different backgrounds and from different locations. So that meant I had to travel a lot. I got to see a large part of Hyderabad, let's say. I didn't get to see all of it. It's vast. But yeah, different people, different backgrounds, different experiences. The thing that surprised me most, like, I saw the stark contrast between the wealthy and the poor, and that really left this indelible impression on me. But throughout the entire time, I realized something. Now, when I first moved to the city, there was this acquaintance of mine, an associate, who mentioned that pretty much anyone can survive in Hyderabad. About 3 months later, my time in Hyderabad was drawing to a close, specifically because another of my friends was getting married. Now, I hadn't seen this guy for nearly 3 years. It didn't feel that long because we were constantly in touch, but the last time I had met him was sometime in November 2019, just before he left and the pandemic hit all of us. I hadn't seen him for 3 years, and so I was heading to Manipur to attend his wedding. Might be kind of cliche to say that the vibes were insane, but the thing was, I did have an amazing time there. I spent a lot of time recuperating because I had spent nearly 48 hours just traveling, most of them in a bus, and I was exhausted. And since my friend was getting married, he wasn't really permitted to go out because of tradition. That meant that I spent a lot of time just chilling, and though I wanted to go and explore, I wasn't able to. I will. I've promised to go back in third wheel. I've given him like a month or two of no annoyance. I'm gonna get back and annoy the crap out of him. I promise. The thing was, I had spent like almost 3 months. I forgot to mention, I primarily do Manipuri martial arts. It's called Thangta. It's primarily weapon based. My master is from Manipur, obviously. Essentially, I was staying in Hyderabad with my master and two other people, his brother and another coach. And they were all Manipuri, right? So I had a lot of exposure to the culture. I was eating their food essentially all the time. And I'm like, a practitioner of their martial arts. So I love the place. I definitely need to go back and visit more places. So that was it. Yeah, I finished the wedding and I got back kind of feeling dejected and a little bit abandonment issues. But yeah, that was it, man. So that's how I spent like 3 to 4 months away. And that's why I wasn't able to post the podcast. But I'm back now, and the plan is to put out a lot of stuff. I'm not going to mention it all, but there's a video now, and that's something I've never done before. I have a huge plan, but I'm going to talk about that next time. So I will see you all in the next video. So until next time, peace.